Good evening. I'd like to call this Tuesday, April 4th, 2017 meeting of Middletown City Council to order. If you please stand and join me in a moment of meditation and the pledge of allegiance to the flag. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Ms. Skank, would you call the roll, please?
Ms. Bronston? Here. Mr. Bohannon?
Here.
Mr. Moon?
Here.
Mr. Picard?
Here.
Mayor Mulligan?
Here. All right, I'm going to shift the agenda since we received one comment card this evening and try to accommodate this request. So I'd like to invite Ms. Carolyn Beer down to the podium.
Thank you.
Join us this evening. Thank you.
I'm Caroline Beer, the Executive Director of the Butler County Veteran Service Commission, and I'm here this evening to extend an invitation to the Council for our opening of the Middletown office next Monday, April the 10th at 11:30, with our ribbon cutting at 12 o'clock, and our special guest tentatively is Congressman Warren Davidson. As you may know, we had to close our Middletown office about a year and a half ago, and now we're at full staff, so we're excited to have the meeting or the office back open on Briel to better serve our veterans in the northern part of the county. So I'm just going to leave these here and hope that you all be able to join us.
What's the address on Briel?
78 North Briel.
Okay.
It's where Dr. Furlong's office is.
All right.
Was. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming down tonight. All right, and with that, our next item on the agenda is our executive session, so I entertain a motion in the authority of Ohio Revised Code 121.22G1 to consider the appointment, employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of a public employee or official, and also under the authority of Ohio Revised Code 121.22G3, conferences with an attorney for the public body concerning disputes involving the public body that is subject of pending or imminent court action.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Skank, would you call the roll?
Mr. Bohannon?
Yes.
Mr. Moon?
Yes.
Mr. Picard?
Yes.
Mayor Mulligan?
Yes.
Ms. Bronston? Yes.
All right, following executive session, we will come back to chambers. I believe council's meeting down in the police conference room training
Correct, Your
room,
Honor.
and we'll reconvene then. Ready to go? All right. All right, I'd like to bring our meeting back to order. Returning from our executive session. So we'll move to city manager reports. Mr. Atkins?
Your Honor, given the nature and length of our executive session tonight, I do not have anything extra for our city manager.
All right, you're so kind to us. Thank you. Consent agenda, Ms. Skank?
For your consideration this evening, we have the approval of the City Council minutes from March the 21st, 2017. Receive and file Board and Commission minutes from the Airport Commission of October 20th and November 17th, 2016. From the Planning Commission from December 14th, 2016 and February 8th, 2017. From the Board of Zoning Appeals for January 4th and February 1st, 2017. From the Historic Commission from January 26th, 2017. And from the Board of Health from February 14th, 2017. To confirm personnel appointments of Joe Collins and Bianca Griffin, part-time bus drivers, Department of Community Revitalization, Division of Transit. Amanda Gaspara, part-time treatment plant assistant lab analyst, Department of Public Works, Division of Water Treatment. To receive and file an oath of office for Paul Toth, and to recognize National Public Health Week of April 3rd through the 9th, 2017, with a proclamation.
All right, thank you. Do we have a motion for the approval of the issues and actions as listed on the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Skank, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Moon?
Yes.
Mr. Picard?
Yes.
Mayor Mulligan?
Yes.
Mr. Bohannon?
Yes.
Ms. Bronston? Yes.
All right, we have a couple motion items this evening.
To approve the purchase of a medics ambulance off of the ODAS contract from Penn Care of Niles, Ohio, in the amount of $134,450.
Okay, Mr. Atkins?
Yes, Your Honor. Our vehicle replacement plan calls for a new medic in 2017, and we will move the 2009 Braun back to reserve status. The international unit that will be eliminated from 2011, that has not worked well with the application that we've had it in. The new medic is off the ODAS contract from Penn Care in the amount of $134,450. We will, in addition, spend a couple extra items: $2,000 for a 4-camera video system, $18,000 plus for a power lift cot. The total vehicle value will be $154,628.68 when it's fully decked out, ready to go. You're being asked tonight for the $134,450. There is money in the budget to cover this.
Okay. Any questions, Mr. Atkins? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the purchase of a medic's ambulance off the ODAS contract from Penn Care of Niles, Ohio, in the amount of $134,450.
So moved.
Second.
Okay, Ms. Skank, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Picard.
Yes.
Mayor Mulligan.
Yes.
Ms. Bronston.
Yes.
Mr. Bohannon.
Yes.
Mr. Moon.
Yes.
The second item on the motion agenda is to approve the purchase of 4 pickup trucks off the ODAS Cooperative Purchasing Program from Bob Ross Auto Group, Centerville, Ohio, in the amount of $130,128.
Mr. Atkins?
Yes, Your Honor. The 2017 budget includes 4 pickup trucks, one for street maintenance, one for stormwater, one for water distribution, and one for water treatment. They are all replacement vehicles. 2 of the trucks being replaced are 14 months overdue for replacement. The other 2 are 20 months overdue. But we've been able to keep them together until the cost is getting to a place where it doesn't make sense to continue to do that. They will all be outfitted with snow plow packages so they can be used to plow streets in inclement weather. We did have $141,000 budgeted for this $130,128 purchase.
Okay. Questions from council? I'll entertain a motion to approve the purchase of 4 pickup trucks off the ODAS Cooperative Purchasing Program from Bob Ross Auto Group, Centerville, Ohio, in the amount of $130,128.
So moved. Second.
Ms. Skank, would you call the roll, please?
Mayor Mulligan.
Yes.
Ms. Bronston.
Yes.
Mr. Bohannon.
Yes.
Mr. Moon.
Yes.
Mr. Picard.
Yes.
All right, thank you very much. That brings us to council comments this evening. Mr. Picard?
Thank you, Mayor. No comments.
Okay. Mr. Bohannon?
Thank you, Mayor. Over the past couple of weeks, I've been out there doing quite a bit of stuff. One of the things that I thought was quite unique was one of our citizens, Jerry Lewis, young lady, formed a group of neighborhood people around the Sherman Park to take the park on as a community project and sort of adopt it. And they were out 2 Saturdays ago cleaning the park, painting all the equipment. They're going to be planting new plants around the park. They're going to be resurfacing the basketball court. And I'd like to challenge other areas around the city that have parks for them to get community involvement and start adopting a park and taking control of the parks and trying to clean them up and help us out. Something else that we did, we had the Sorg Opera House had a battle of the pianos. That was quite interesting. Met at the Windermere. Quite fun. A lot of songs. And let's see, the other thing, Mr. Adkins and I were at a thing upstairs for the school system. It's a bunch of 6th graders, about 12 6th graders in a class that they have. Their objective was to plan businesses. And they had to develop a building, they had to develop a sales program, hours of business. There was a candy store, a steak store, a sporting goods store.
Exotic pets.
Exotic pets. Quite interesting. These kids put a lot of thought into their projects, and it was fun to watch, and it was informative. And I'm glad to see that there's a program in the Middletown school system that gets these kids in the 6th grade to start thinking about business.
You did a great job.
It was. That's all I have tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Moon?
Thank you. I just wanted to mention last week the mayor, vice mayor, and I were all at the Community Building Institute Gala and fundraiser. It was a wonderful event. It was the first time they'd done it. I just wanted to publicly thank them for all they're doing in the community. They're truly an invaluable resource for our city. And the only other item I wanted to mention was that I believe this Friday's First Friday. We had several new businesses downtown. Spring has sprung, so come downtown and check out all that's going on. That's all I have.
All right, very good. Ms. Bronston?
I wanted to talk about the Derrico and City Easter egg hunt that will be held on Saturday, April 15th. It will be held at 2:00 p.m. And I think so far, Mr. Atkins, we have about 15,000, 18,000 eggs stuffed with candy. And so we're asking the community to come out and help. We do have a lot of volunteers from Miami University, various leaders in the city, sponsors from a lot of our churches, Middletown Community Foundation, and so we have a lot of support for that egg hunt. A lot of people have donated the raffle items, such as bicycles and big items like that. So come out for some free hot dogs and other food, chips, and have fun.
Bring the kids.
Yeah, a lot of kids. And that's all I have.
All right, thank you. I'll just mention a couple things. As Mr. Moon mentioned, we do have some new businesses opening. Liberty Spirits is one this Friday. I think this is their first opening, so it's kind of exciting to have a micro distillery in Middletown. We've had our brewery, now we have a distillery, so looking forward to seeing that open on Friday. And to Mr. Bohannon's point, I know in Earth Day coming up on the 22nd, I believe, Jeff Michelle and Keep Middletown Beautiful have a number of efforts planned, so I'd encourage folks to check out the city website for information on that. Our group on Main Street has kind of adopted the Old South Park. We spend usually a day down there cleaning that up, and I know a number of different activities go on during the day to get the city cleaned up and spruced up since spring is out, and it is encouraging to see people involved in doing some different things. And lastly, I'd like to wish folks a pleasant Passover and a happy Easter, two big holidays coming up. So a lot to look forward to here in this spring season. And now we have a taste of it. I understand it's supposed to get cold this week. It's all good. With that, we can move to Ms. Cohen and our legislation for this evening.
Thank you, sir. We have 6 pieces of legislation to consider. First 2 are requested as an emergency. So to ask if there's a motion to waive charter requirements for 2 readings and 30 days to enactment regarding Ordinance O 2017-13 and Ordinance O 2017-15.
I make a motion to waive the charter that requires reading on 2 separate days and consider ordinance number 2017-13 and ordinance 2017-15 as emergency measures to be read one time only.
And we have a second.
Second?
Okay, Ms. Camp, would you call the roll, please?
Ms. Bronston.
Yes.
Mr. Bohannon.
Yes.
Mr. Moon.
Yes.
Mr. Picard.
Yes.
Mayor Mulligan.
Yes.
Thank you. The first matter will be Ordinance O 2017-13, an ordinance authorizing a contract with Kelchner, Inc. for the Yankee Road Phase 3 project and declaring an emergency.
Okay, do we have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Atkins?
Your Honor, there was a presentation made at the last meeting. It was up for you for emergency passage tonight, so we can get started on the project.
Very good. Ms. Camp, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Bohannon.
Yes.
Mr. Moon.
Yes.
Mr. Picard.
Yes.
Mayor Mulligan.
Yes.
Ms. Bronston.
Yes.
The second matter will be Ordinance O 2017-15, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with the Ohio Department of Transportation for the replacement of a traffic signal controller and declaring an emergency.
Okay, do we have a motion to adopt?
So moved.
Second?
Mr. Atkins, anything to add?
No, Your Honor, this also had a presentation at the last meeting, and it's ready for your action this evening.
Ms. Camp, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Moon.
Yes.
Mr. Picard.
Yes.
Mayor Mulligan.
Yes.
Mr. Bohannon.
Yes.
Ms. Bronston.
Yes.
The third matter is here for a second reading. Resolution R 2017-07, a resolution authorizing an agreement granting tax abatement to Lydia Montgomery and Richard Montgomery for redevelopment of 1201 Central Avenue in the downtown Middletown Community Reinvestment Area.
Okay, do we have a motion to adopt?
So moved. Oh, sorry. Second?
Second. Any other discussion or comments? Ms. Camp, would you call the roll, please?
Mr. Picard.
Yes.
Mayor Mulligan.
Yes.
Ms. Bronston.
Yes.
Mr. Bohannon.
Yes.
Mr. Moon.
Yes.
Item number 4 this evening will be Ordinance O 2017-16, an ordinance vacating an alley adjacent to 1131 Central Avenue. And this is first reading.
Mr. Atkins?
Yes, Your Honor, this is a request by Amy Vittori for a portion of the alley to be vacated adjacent to 1131 Central Avenue. The alley will be used for outdoor seating for Gracie's Restaurant. This alley vacation will require final approval by City Council. Go ahead, please. This is outlined in yellow where the alley exists. It's right along the old TV Middletown building. And again, you can see that from the street view. Planning Commission did recommend approval of the partial alley vacation, and staff also recommends approval.
The next matter will be ordinance O 2017-17, an ordinance vacating an alley adjacent to 1905 Columbia Avenue. This is also first reading.
Mr. Atkins?
Yes, Your Honor, this is at the request of Graphic Packaging International, one of our businesses downtown here. They are purchasing a number of the lots. If you go to the next slide, please. Along the left side of the yellow area, they are working on gathering some of those lots for storage and additional business. The alley would help give them access to move around in that area. There's another look at the alley. Planning Commission did recommend approval of the partial alley vacation, and staff also recommends approval.
Mr. Atkins, did you check into that, what we talked about the dumpster, access to the dumpster?
I didn't hear you, I'm sorry.
Did you check into the thing about the access to the dumpster?
No, I completely forgot.
Oh, okay.
But there's still time.
Thank you.
That came up
for
with the
reminding me,
planning
because
commission as well, too. And I think that was resolved that, for the northern property there.
Yes.
Yeah, for the turnaround for,
Yeah.
the, Rumpke. Yeah, I believe it's accessible, but, it would be good for me.
I will run it down, and I apologize, I had completely
I
forgot.
don't assume that alley's garage access for these residents.
They've been torn down.
Have they? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I believe the property of the remaining houses are going to be torn down as well, too. I think that came up in planning commission, so. All right, and our last item for this evening?
The last matter will be ordinance O 2017-18, an ordinance vacating an alley adjacent to 1218 Central Avenue. Also first reading.
Your Honor, this one's probably a little stranger than the other two. This is for applicant David Stryker, but it's really for Central Tap and Pint along Central Avenue there. They're going to use that alley for outdoor seating for their restaurant. Again, this will require your final approval. When it went to Planning Commission, go ahead and if you would bump me forward. There's the alley we're talking about in the yellow again, and please, Nadine, thank you. This is the alley. It's not in great shape now. We will ask them to clean some of that up. This one's a little bit different. When it went to Planning Commission, Engineering Department did have some concerns because there's a public lot that is behind this area, and that alley is one of the ways to get to that public lot. It went on through Planning Commission, and Planning Commission recommended denial based on the engineering comments that were made. I wish I had seen them before they went to Planning Commission. This is one of those areas. One of the last things we're going to do with our city master plan is completely look at transportation. We're going to look at those lots. We're going to look at how people get to those lots, wayfinding signs and other things that we haven't even begun to look at yet. While I think engineering had good intentions, and I want to hear those comments from them, in this case, we are going to recommend, I'm going to overrule them and recommend from the staff point of view that we do go ahead and approve this. I'll find other ways to get people back to that lot. It's almost never used right now. It's in very bad shape. If we're going to really get serious about using it, it needs to be cleaned up and repaved and restriped. And I apologize, but in this case, we're going to ask you to override Planning Commission in this case and approve this vacation at the next meeting.
Mr. Atkins, I read the response from Mr. Hoffman, and he really touched on a lot of great visuals that he saw in that alley.
Right.
And based on that by itself, I know which alley it is, and I think the better use of it would be for the Central Pine.
That's our recommendation
So
as well.
that's what I saw. That's what I read.
I will just pass along, I was at the Planning Commission meeting when this was considered, and in light of having additional information, it certainly does help, and at the time, the applicant wasn't there, so it was unclear as to what some of the issues were, so, but absent that, I think Planning Commission made the right decision, given the access and some of the concerns that were raised. But in this case, I do agree with Mr. Atkins' updated staff opinion that we do vacate the alley.
And I will say, and I talked about this a little bit in the email, that this is one of those situations where you have a fairly new city manager, a brand new planner, a brand new person, and there's a missing piece there because Ashley at that time sent out for comments from all the department heads. They came back, but then I didn't see them before they went on to Planning Commission. If I had seen that before it gone, I would have said valid concern, however, and Planning Commission would have gotten a different look at that. And so again, that's partially a newer city manager, live and learn by your mistakes. And so we'll do better.
All right. Okay. Anything else?
Nothing, Your Honor.
Very good. All right, with that, we'll be in recess until April 18th in these chambers. Thank you all.
Thank you.